please join me, welcome to this, and finally I'm giving you my thoughts on this game here, The Last of Us. For those who care, it's been an absolute shit couple of days. It's raining non-stop. So I figured what better weather than to review The Last of Us. Well, actually before that I actually thought what better weather to stay in bed and watch the last season of Parks and Recreation, and I got kind of bored of that, so here we are. Let's review this. So The Last of Us, if you don't know, is an amazing game. And again, like all of my PlayStation 3 exclusive reviews, if you don't own that and you own a PlayStation 3, you're retarded because you should go and buy it because it's an absolutely amazing game. For all the bitching and complaining I did on Facebook and Twitter, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So, The Last of Us is a third-person, stealth, post-apocalyptic survival game that's true to all of those except at the end. However, the story, it much like Uncharted, the gameplay is here, the story is up here. And that is the case in The Last of Us as well. The story is absolutely amazing. Easy to follow. There are a few problems I have with it, and that is that I think from present day to when it's actually really set, 20 years seems a long way. It seems like too far to go from 2013, now we're 20 years in the future. But again, it's understandable because that creates the juxtaposition between Joel and Ellie, because obviously Joel has known the world before it went to shit, whereas Ellie has only ever known the world now, or at then, when it's gone to shit. So the two of them pair up for a group of, I can't even speak English, for a couple of hijinks around the American countryside, and it makes for a great game. It's an excellent story that all wraps up neatly. It's an interesting ending, it's a great end sequence. The characters are amazing, much like Uncharted. They're fleshed out. If you do a little bit of research, if you do a little bit of exploring and look for collectibles, the story makes more sense. The characters are more fleshed out. Looks great. Probably the best looking console game I've seen. I really can't think of anything that could compete with it. I mean, it looks amazing. Sounds great. One problem with the sound is that you may be right if you have like a $4,000 sound system or a really great pair of headphones. I can't stand using my fucking headset to play games with. So the audio for the voices is alright, but you miss a lot of dialogue because the way that the game is structured is that you don't leave the area until you've checked every cupboard. You don't leave the area until you've checked every room, every crack, everything. So the other characters, they're walking off in the distance and you can't hear them worth shit. So turn the subtitles on because you'd be surprised what you'd miss. Turn them on again, but the cutscenes are alright, the cutscenes are amazing. So the gameplay is a third-person stealth game. And stealth mechanics and stealth games and myself have hated each other since I ever started first playing them. However, this is different. I actually enjoyed the combat for the most part in this game, and I'll tell you why. With other stealth games, it's like, oh, especially in Splinter Cell, here you have a sonic bomb, throw this over there to distract enemies, and then you have this dart gun that does this and a real gun, but don't use that. Then you have night vision goggles, retina things, scanner things, voice recorders, and I'm like, fuck off! I can't, it doesn't go in. It's much like real-time strategy games, comes to here and goes, fuck you, and then goes that way. But this is so bare bones, and it makes sense to be bare bones because you have nothing, that it's fun to play. I like the stealth combat. My only problem with the core of the combat is that it seems too much the same. It's like every time you're walking around and you see a barrage of chest-high walls and you think, fuck, here we go again. Get out the bottle, throw it that way, either walk around the guards or the enemies, or kill them, or strangle them, or do whatever you want, and it's just that over and over and over again, and once you get caught, you're fucked, and then you have to start shooting, and of course, post-apocalyptic land, and ammo is scarce, despite the fact everyone that's not you has a pretty much infinite amount of munitions. Another problem I had, that I cracked the shits. I was pissed off because the gameplay towards the end pissed me off, I'll talk to that later. So I'm like, fuck you, I'm running past the shit. So I'm running past everything, and I got discovered. And I noticed this at the start of the game as well, and I can't confirm it, but I'm pretty confident that if you get noticed, the game says, well, fuck you, and then spawns enemies out of nowhere. Like they literally appeared in front of me, in front of a door. They appeared like that. And that's ridiculous. Not happy about that. That was not fun. But yeah, the combat is good, but it just feels too much the same, which it's different when you're dealing with the clickers or the zombies or the mutated or the infected or whatever you want to call them. But it's still the same basic concept of throw bottles here, go around. You can craft your own weapons, you can upgrade weapons, you can upgrade your your abilities, like you can, what can you do? You can shoot better, you have more health, you can reload, you can create stuff quicker, and there's no way you're going to get all of those in one game, in one run through, which is good because it makes you really decide, you know, what do I need? Unlike with other games where you can go, oh, I'm level 1, max everything. So it makes you think, what do you really need, and that's what you go. So the leveling system, if you want to call it that, is good. The crafting system is good. Now, why did the gameplay bother me? Because the gameplay at the last part of the game turned into a fucking third-person shooter, and A, I hate third-person shooters, and B, the gameplay mechanics do not help when you're in a third-person shooter. There's nothing wrong with the gameplay mechanics when they're in their element. If you're going to turn it into a third-person shooter, please make it a little bit better. It pissed me off to no end, and the combat just became so monotonous and boring that I'm like, fuck it, and I just ran through everything. Which actually is the better way to get past things in the game, ironically, but we're all gamers, and, you know, we have that mentality of, I can shoot him, or I can walk past him. Oh, fuck it, I'll shoot him. And then shit happens and we get pissed off. So, you know, play the game stealthily, but I suck. I will admit that I suck at stealth combat. I suck, but the last part of the game I felt was just unfair, even though, no, I'm not, the gameplay was good, I enjoyed it, I was good at it because it was simple, it was bare bones, but I'm not good at stealth combat, I haven't got the patience. So overall, I think The Last of Us is an amazing game, a 10 out of 10. I was thinking about it. I don't know if I'd give it a 10 out of 10. I really don't know, because the gameplay got to me at the end. Whereas with Bioshock Infinite, I would easily give that a 10 because it had the story and the gameplay. But I would probably, yeah, I'm a fan of story. So yeah, Last of Us gets a 10. I give it a 10 out of 10. It's that good. You should go and get it. It's an amazing experience, amazing game for an amazing developer. Does it beat Bioshock Infinite? That's going to be a question for the end of the year. So I really can't see any other games coming out except Grand Theft Auto and maybe Beyond Two Souls that might be able to tip them off the pedestal at this stage. So, tell me what you guys think. Amazing year for games coming up. Until next time, I'm out. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Au revoir.